Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Intel is in a free fall, y'all. It's crazy. Plunging over 14% in the pre-market as a weak outlook overshadows a revenue beat, while the rest of the market rides the wave of the Greenland truce from Davos. If you want to know why the old guard of tech is shaking while the new age giants are holding firm, you're in the right place. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, I'm your host, Matt Riches. Welcome to $1 Trillion Tickers and welcome to the family. If you're here to build generational wealth and master these markets, drop $1 trillion in the comments right now. This is your live market breakdown. We are covering the giants, the $1 trillion tickers, the SPX, the NAS 100, the SPY, the Qs. We're tracking pre-market levels, opening bell moves, and every headline associated with the biggest companies on the planet. Let me get into this mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earning is too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. Today we're diving into the charts, checking on the pulse of gold and Bitcoin as they navigate high volatility zones. I'm bringing you a brand new segment from Robert Greene's The Daily Laws to keep your mindset sharp as your trades. We have some data coming out, and we'll check on that. Let me get into this Robert Greene law for today, January 23rd. Here it is, y'all. Operating with long-term goals will bring you tremendous clarity and resolve. These goals, a project or business to create, for instance, can be relatively ambitious, enough to bring out the best in you. The problem, however, is that they also tend to generate anxiety as you look at all you have to do to reach them from this present vantage point. To manage such anxiety, you must create a ladder of smaller goals along the way, reaching down to the present. Such objectives are simpler and the further down the ladder you go, and you realize them in a relatively short time frames, giving you moments of satisfaction and a sense of progress. Always break tasks into smaller bites. Each day or week, you must have micro goals. This will help you focus and avoid entanglements or detours that will waste your energy. At the same time, you want to continually remind yourself of the larger goal to avoid losing track of it or getting too mirrored in the details. Periodically return to your original vision and imagine the immense satisfaction you will have when it comes to fruition. This will give you clarity and inspire you forward. You will always want a degree of flexibility built into the process. At certain moments, you reassess your progress and adjust the various goals as necessary, constantly learning from experience and adapting and improving your original objective. Daily law. Remember that what you are after is a series of practical results and accomplishments, not a list of unrealized dreams and aborted projects. Working with smaller embedded goals will keep you moving in such a direction. There it is, y'all. That is today's daily law from Robert Greene. Let me get ready, y'all. All right. Quick reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This show is for education and entertainment only. Always do your own research, but you can use this broadcast as a foundation. All right. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. This show is for education. All right. There we go. There we go. You know, when you're running your own show, doing all the production, it's a lot to it. But here we go. So the Asian session, which was yesterday, the markets closed mixed. The Nikkei found support after a volatile week. And Jensen's bullish AI comments in Davos was helping that to the upside. While the Hang Seng saw a small pop in tech as bargain hunters stepped in. The London session, the taco trade was in full effect. President Trump's decision to back off Greenland tariffs has European banks and industrial giants ripping. The FTSE and the DAX are showing strong momentum as they prepare to hand the torch to New York. So we have some macro data come out. Let me see. Actually, it comes out at 6:30, 6:45. All right, so yeah, let me get to these. Let me get to these tickers, y'all. Let me get to these market caps. Here we are. NVIDIA, 4.5 trillion. Google, 3.99 trillion. Apple, 3.66 trillion. Microsoft, 3.35 trillion. Amazon, 2.5 trillion. TSM, 1.69 trillion. Meta, 1.63 trillion. AVGO, 1.54 trillion. Tesla, 1.49 trillion. And Berkshire.B, 1.04 trillion, y'all. Look at Intel. This is where Intel closed yesterday, y'all. At 54. And right now it's at 47 in the pre-market. Man, it's getting destroyed. All right, let's check out NVIDIA, y'all. NVIDIA in the pre-market. Ooh, I like that candle, y'all. I like that 3 a.m. candle. All right, NVIDIA pre-market low, 183.50. Pre-market high, 189. Google pre-market low, 329.76. Pre-market high, 331.71. Apple pre-market low, 247.51. Pre-market high, 248.70. Microsoft pre-market low, 449 even. Pre-market high, 452.59. Amazon pre-market low, 233.49. Pre-market high, 235.78. TSM pre-market low, 328.23. Pre-market high, 332.88. AVGO pre-market low, 316.91. Pre-market high, 326.99. Meta pre-market low, 641.42. Pre-market high, 648.44. Meta had a wonderful day yesterday, up over 5.5%, up $34 yesterday. Let's give it up for Meta. Tesla pre-market low, 446.14. Pre-market high, 451.68. Tesla had a wonderful day yesterday, up over 4%, over $17. Let's give it up for Tesla. Berkshire.B pre-market low, 481.85. Pre-market high, 485.13. The VIX is back over 16, y'all. The VIX is at 1603. SPY pre-market low, 687.12. Pre-market high, 690.38. QQQ pre-market low, 618.10. Pre-market high, 622.03. SPX pre-market low, 6,892. Pre-market high, let me see. Pre-market high, 6,922. The NASDAQ 100 pre-market low, 25,397. Pre-market high, 25,543. The gold minis currently trading at $97.80. The cost of gold right now, $4,941 an ounce. And Bitcoin is currently at 89,456, y'all. All right. Market's about to open in less than a minute. So let's prepare for the market open, y'all. All right. So I'm trying to improve the show. That's why I had that new way of opening the show. So I hope y'all like it. I think it's a lot better. I'm giving a lot more information. And thank y'all for tuning in. This is $1 Trillion Tickers. We do this show every morning. Shout out to everybody on TikTok Live and YouTube Live. All right. Here we are, y'all. Market open, market open, market open. The market is open, y'all. 6:30 a.m. You know we in California. Today is January 23rd, 2026. The market is open. Let's check out our $1 Trillion tickers, y'all. NVIDIA is up over 1.5% at 187.97. Google is up 0.25% at 331.33. Apple is down almost 1% at 246.19. Microsoft is up fractionally at 551.94. Amazon is up over 0.5% at 235.95. Amazon is in the gap, y'all. It's in the gap. TSM is up over 1.5% at 332.22. AVGO is down almost 2%. AVGO is in the gap, y'all. AVGO is in the gap. It's halfway in the gap at 318.90. Meta after that wonderful day yesterday, it's up over 0.25% at 649, y'all. Tesla is down almost 0.5% at 447.34. Berkshire.B is down over 0.5% at 481.83. Remember when we first started doing this show, Berkshire was up around 500. That thing is down 481 right now, y'all. The VIX is back under 16, y'all. The VIX is at 1590 right now. All right. So while I read some of these news clips, I will organize the layout here. So this is the trading view layout. Right now I have 8 charts on here. Top left hand corner is going to be NVIDIA, followed by, to the right, Google, Apple, and Microsoft. And then underneath NVIDIA here, we have Amazon. Amazon has filled the gap, y'all. So I will be deleting this gap off the Amazon chart. Amazon has filled the gap. I like Amazon to the upside. But don't hop in the trade just yet. The market just opened. All right, AVGO. It's looking real bearish right now. And then followed by Meta platforms. Okay, Meta looking strong right now too. Okay, so really I don't have a lot of news like I normally do because I was working on improving the show, but this is what I got so far. Chinese officials reportedly told the country's largest tech firms they can prepare for the NVIDIA H200 chips, y'all. So that's wonderful. So NVIDIA should be up today on that news. You know, it's been a lot of back and forth trying to figure out, does China want these chips? Do they not want the chips? Will NVIDIA be able to sell them the chips? Will they not? So that's good. That's good news for AI, and that's good news for NVIDIA. This next piece of news comes from Zay. He said, "We've been led to believe that diversification is the key, when the truth is hyper concentration is the real gem." Ooh, I do believe that because, you know, Buffett said diversification if you don't know what you're doing. But if you do, hyper concentration is the key. So I believe it. So why not just do both, y'all? Why not just have an ETF for your diversification, or maybe two ETFs if you want like a semis ETF, or you want like a cybersecurity ETF, or a healthcare ETF, or financials ETF, plus the regular SPY or SPYM for y'all that's not trying to spend that crazy bread per share. But yeah, and then a couple individual companies and you good. You know what I mean? The leaders, the best companies in the world. This next piece comes from the master investor, Ian Dunlap. He's actually with EYL. That's Troy and Rashad from Market Mondays. And they are at NVIDIA headquarters, y'all. NVIDIA headquarters. That's big. That's big, man. They started the Market Mondays show giving financial knowledge to the community in 2020. And now 2026, they are at NVIDIA headquarters. And NVIDIA is the most valuable company on the planet. It's worth $4.5 trillion. So salute to them brothers, man. That's wonderful to see, man. All right, this next piece of news comes from the Kobayashi letter on Twitter. SpaceX is set to hire Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley to lead its IPO this year. The IPO is expected to be valued at as much as $1.5 trillion. And if that does happen, it will be the largest IPO in the history of the stock market, y'all. That's big paper. That's big paper. You know what's going to happen to Elon's net worth if that actually happens, y'all. He's trying to hit that trillion. He might be the first trillionaire outside of Mansa Musa in the history of the world, y'all. So salute to Elon for trying to make that happen. All right, let's check out the Fear and Greed Index. Let's see how we are looking on the Fear and Greed Index, y'all. We are in neutral. The Fear and Greed Index is at 53, y'all. 53 on the Fear and Greed. We are headed back toward greed, y'all. All right, let's check out some of our sectors so we can see where money is moving from and where money is moving into sector-wise. Just looking at this list right here, I only see 3 green sectors and I see 8 red sectors. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's check it out. So our first sector, technology, the sector that I love the most, is down over 0.5% at 144, y'all. Followed by consumer discretionary. It is down almost 0.25% at 122.36. Next on our list is communications. It is up fractionally at 116.36. XLF, our financial sector, is down almost 0.75% at 53.41. XLV, this is our healthcare sector, is down almost 0.25% at 157.96. XLP, this is our consumer staples sector, is up almost 0.5% at 82.59. XLE looks like we hit all-time highs, y'all. Remember earlier this week we was trying to break through this supply zone. This is the daily supply zone, and it has now broken out. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this supply zone, y'all, and I'm gonna go ahead and move this all-time high up here to the current all-time high price of $49.89, y'all. Shout out XLE for breaking all-time highs. All right, XLU, this is our utility sector. It is down almost 0.25% at 42.64. XLI, this is our industrial sector, is down almost 0.5% at 164.75. XLB, looks like XLB also hit an all-time high today. Shout out to X. Wait a minute. No, not today. Yesterday, it hit an all-time high. All-time high was 49.83. It is currently down 0.25% at 49.37. All right, and XLRE, this is our real estate sector, y'all. It is down almost 0.25% at 41.05. So that's what we have as far as the sectors, y'all. Let me see. The strongest sector is energy, up almost 2%. And the worst sector so far, it's a tie between technology and financials. All right, let's get back to our list. Actually, let's check out some of our ETFs that we like to look at. We have the Dow Jones Industrial ETF. It hit all-time highs. It was very close to all-time highs yesterday, but it's fallen a little bit. It's actually down over 0.5% at 490.62. Check out IWM. Looks like it hit all-time highs yesterday. Let me move that up there. IWM hit all-time highs yesterday of 271.60. It is now currently down over 0.5% at 268, y'all. SPYM, the S&P 500 mini. This is where you need to be invested. Don't go spending $600 on a share when you can get the same holdings percentage-wise and company-wise for $80 a share. So when they pay dividends, you could get way more because you own way more shares because you didn't buy the expensive one. Come on, y'all. We got to do that. And it's down fractionally at $80.92 right now. QQQM. Same thing, y'all. Don't go spending $600 a share on QQQ when you can just buy the QQQ mini for $255 a share, y'all. It's down fractionally at $255.20 right now. SPYG, my darling ETF, one of the biggest holdings in my portfolio. It's right at break even right now at 106.51, y'all. SOXQ, this is a semiconductor ETF. So I don't want y'all spending all that money on SOXX and SMH. I found this ETF for $62.57, y'all. This is actually phenomenal. Looks like they hit an all-time high yesterday. Let me move this up here. So you can buy the best semiconductors in the world if you want the ETF for currently $62.61. It's down 1.25% today. TQQQs is down almost 0.5% at 53.70. You know, this that triple leverage ETF. Only buy that on super discounts. Like if we have a year like 2022, or we have a super crash like we did earlier in April. Well, that was last year. You know, it's 2026 now. Remember last year in April when we had the Trump tariffs that caused that dramatic fall in the market? That's when you want to buy one of these triple leverage ETFs. You don't want to buy them when the market is running, y'all. You want to wait for a substantial discount. Okay, so this is another triple leverage ETF. This is SOXL. So whatever the SOXX is, this actually triples it. So, and it's a lot cheaper. So it's only $61 a share. It's currently down 4.25%. All right. So this is SOXX. This is a semiconductor ETF, currently down over 1.25% at 344, y'all. This is SMH. Oh, it looks like it hit an all-time high yesterday as well. SMH all-time high, 408.73, y'all. It is currently down 1% at 398.66. This is XLG. Looks like it's halfway in the gap. This is another ETF that I found that I really like, that I'm just waiting for it to pull back on discount so we can buy it. This is actually the top 50 stocks in the S&P 500. XLG, y'all. It's only $58 a share. It's barely over break even today at 58.39. The Ives 30. Shout out Dan Ives and Webbush. This is the Ives 30, y'all. It's AI heavy. It's actually down over 0.25% at 32.57. SPYI. This is a high income ETF that pays monthly. It's currently down, barely under break even at 52.45. QQQI. This is another high income ETF. It's barely under break even at 53.71. Yeah, I'm still holding, y'all. I'm still holding. I need it at 55. We should have that. We should have that dividend in the portfolio sometime today. All right. Let's see. Let's check out the heat map. Check out the heat map, y'all. Let's see what's running. Where is the money at, y'all? So this is the S&P 500 heat map. Okay. So if it's gray, that means it's between negative 0.25% and positive 0.25%. If it's dark green, that means it's up between 0.25% and 0.75%. If it's medium green, that means it's up between 0.75% and 1.25%. If it's bright green, that means it's at least 1.25% and above. If it's dark green, that means it's between being down 0.25% and 0.75%. If it's medium red, that means it's down at least 0.75% to 1.25%. And if it's bright red, that means it's at least 1.5% or more to the downside, y'all. All right, so we got NVIDIA, bright green, y'all. AVGO, bright red. Let's see. Where we got some big movers. AVGO down over 2.5%. Oracle down 2.5%. IBM down over 1.25%. AppLovin is down almost 2%. Where the runners at? AMD is up almost 4%, y'all. Netflix is up 1.5%. Let's see. Healthcare looking real red, y'all. Eli Lilly down over 1%. Caterpillar down over 1.5%. Lam Research is down over 2.5%. AMAT is down almost 2%. ExxonMobil is up almost 1.25%. Yeah, that's the heat map, y'all. All right, let's check out some more news. Amazon is reportedly planning to cut thousands more corporate jobs next week, y'all. Damn. If you are working in corporate and you work for Amazon, you might be losing your job next week. You should prepare. That will be tough, y'all. That will be tough. If you're working in corporate, though, you're probably making a lot of money every year. So hopefully you've been saving it and not spending it frivolously. All right, his next piece of news comes from Elon Musk. He said robo-taxis will be widespread in the U.S. by the end of this year, y'all. Elon actually spoke at Davos at the World Economic Forum yesterday. Here's a clip from his speech there.
The overall goal of my companies is to maximize the future of civilization, like basically maximize the probability that civilization has a great future, and to expand consciousness beyond Earth. So, take SpaceX, for example, that SpaceX is about both advancing rocket technology to the point where we can extend life and consciousness beyond Earth, to the moon, to Mars, eventually to other star systems.
He said he's about to expand consciousness beyond Earth, y'all. You think he can do it? I don't know, man. We'll see. He definitely gonna try. Hey, if the richest man in the world want to do something like that, I want to see him create the technology to do it. I love technology, so man, go ahead and do it, man. Go ahead and do it. I ain't tripping. All right, this next piece of news comes from Donald Trump. He said, "Dear Mr." He said, "Dear Prime Minister Carney," which is the Prime Minister of Canada. He said, "Please let this letter serve to represent that the Board of Peace is withdrawing its invitation to you regarding Canada joining what will be the most prestigious board of leaders ever assembled at any time. Thank you for your attention on this matter." You know, when Trump do something, it's always the greatest that has ever happened. And when the people he don't like do something, it's always the worst to ever happen in history. So I don't know what happened with Canada, man. I guess they're not trying to join, so we'll see. See what happens. Oh, another tweet by Trump. He said, "Record numbers all over the place. Should I try for a fourth term?" Yo, Trump is crazy, y'all. He said, should he try for a fourth term? And he's just crazy enough to try it too, y'all. He is crazy enough to try it. Yes, I believe that. So, yeah, man, we'll see. You know, they say the way that he's going to do it is he's going to run as vice president and let J.D. Vance run for president, and then have Vance step down for some reason. And then, you know, when that happens, then the vice president steps up. So I wonder if they gonna pull it, y'all. Hey, Trump is about his business, man. So I bet you if he feels like he will be able to make X amount of billions, if he runs the fourth term, he'll find a way to do it. Because he about that bag, y'all. He definitely about that bag. And he's doing what he got to do to keep America as the number one superpower. So I didn't vote for him, but he's definitely entertaining, y'all. He's always good for some comic relief to add to the show. All right. Let's run these numbers, y'all. Let's run these numbers. Here we go. $1 trillion tickers. Well, we're going to run a big list. Let's run the big list. All right. 10-year treasury yield. It's currently at 4.25%. 4.25. All right. SPX. Looks like it got into the gap yesterday, and it rejected the halfway point of the gap. All right. Let's see how we look on the daily, y'all. Okay, yeah, we're not too far from all-time highs. We almost filled the gap. Very nice recovery on Wednesday and Thursday. So yeah, SPX is looking good, y'all. It's looking strong. Check out the NAS 100. Also not too far from the all-time high. It did break under my trend line here. On Monday, it gapped down. Tuesday, it continued to fall. But on Wednesday, we had a nice recovery here. And we are trying to get back over this support trend line so we can go break through this resistance trend line. And we can break this high right here. And we can head back to all-time highs. That's what we need, y'all. It might take... Well, next week, we got a lot of big earnings next week, y'all. We got a lot of big earnings. You know we got big tech earnings next week, y'all. Who we got? I think we got Meta. I don't know. I'm going to look right now. We got at least 3 big names on one day. I believe it's Wednesday. But we'll get to it, y'all. We'll get to it. Look at the VIX. VIX had that crazy spike, y'all. Crazy spike on the VIX earlier this week. It went over 20. But now it has settled and is back under 16, y'all. All right, let's check out the SPY. SPY looking strong. Headed back to all-time highs, y'all. The Qs not too far from all-time highs. Let's check out Apple. Oh, yeah, Apple been falling crazy, y'all. What's going on with Apple, man? Look, Apple hit an all-time high on December 3rd, and it's just been falling ever since. Bear flag, bear flag. But it is at my support trend line here. And also this weekly support level. So that's a double confirmation that it's going to be really tough for Apple to break through and hold this level. So let's see if it holds, y'all. Oh, yeah. So Apple got earnings next week, y'all. Apple got earnings. All right. Next, AVGO. AVGO actually gapped down. AVGO is actually in a gap and it gapped down again. So it's a gap in a gap, y'all. Let me go ahead and draw that on the chart. AVGO got a gap in the gap. There it is, y'all. There it is. So AVGO. Let's see. Let's see what we got. AVGO hit an all-time high on December 10th, and it's just been falling ever since. Remember I drew this bear flag? This was the pole. This was the top of the flag. This was the bottom of the flag. Remember I had this trend line right here and this gap? So it broke the bottom of the bear flag. So yes, the bear flag did follow through, y'all. It did. All right, Amazon. Check out Amazon, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful. So remember my trend line that I had drawn on here? So Amazon, yeah, it came. First of all, it hit exactly on my daily resistance. It rejected perfectly. You don't get more perfect than that. It rejected with a spinning top candle. And then it started falling, y'all. And then it gapped down. And then it came right down to my trend line, my diagonal trend line here, this green line. And then it also had my weekly support level here. So very nice bounce on my trend line. So shout out to my trend line, y'all. All right, Amazon. So they have earnings in 2 weeks. They have earnings in 2 weeks. All right, Google, y'all. Google very close to all-time highs. They have earnings the same week as Amazon in 2 weeks. All right. What's going on with this trend line? This look crazy. Let's see. There we go. Let me move that back up. There we go. Now it makes sense. All right. Yeah, Google close to all-time highs. Let's see. Meta. Man. Meta. So let's check out Meta's trend line. So I had a trend line on Meta, y'all. And it did break it when it gapped down, but it recovered on Wednesday. And then it gapped up very strong. So my trend lines be on point, y'all. I go ahead and let me fix this gap because this is a new gap now. All right, so it gapped up there. We got a resistance trend line is coming up on though. And we definitely got that. Oh, Meta has earnings next week. All right, Microsoft also has earnings next week. Yes, on Wednesday. Microsoft is looking pretty weak, guys. NVIDIA, they don't have earnings until the end of February. But I do got NVIDIA. They are approaching our resistance trend line here. So if it can break this trend line, and we do got a weekly resistance right here as well. So it's going to be pretty tough for NVIDIA to break this, but I think with earnings next week, if we had these big tech earnings that are able to push the market up, then that will push NVIDIA over this resistance here. All right, Tesla has been moving good for the past 3 days after a whole week of bearishness. But look at this. This was crazy right here, y'all. From December 22nd all the way to January 2nd was nothing but red candles, y'all. Man, that was tough. I mean, it did come from all-time highs, but dang, that thing sold off crazy. And then, yeah, it bounced on the trend line, y'all. All right. Oh, yeah, Tesla. So we got Tesla, Microsoft, and Meta next week that all have earnings, y'all, on the same day. It's going to be a big day for the market, y'all. That's going to be a big day for the market. For sure. All right. Let's check out some of our other ones we like. AMD. Ooh, AMD hit all-time highs, y'all. AMD hit all-time highs at 267. Wow. AMD, man. You talk about a bounce back from the bottom. Remember, this thing was under 100, y'all. I think it was like 70. Yeah, remember this? April 2025, right? Less than a year ago, this shit was $76. And now it's $267. You talk about recovery? That is phenomenal, man. Shout out Lisa Sue, man. Look at this. From April 8th, from the low, this was $76. And now it is $267. And it is up 249%. Shout out Lisa Sue and AMD. Oh my God. Phenomenal recovery, y'all. Incredible. All right. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is back in the consolidation area. This is not a gap. This is consolidation. So it did try to break out previously. It was in the zones from November, and then it finally broke out in January. But it's right back in the zone. So that's what we got for Bitcoin. IBIT gap down. We got a gap on here. We got a draw. All right. And it's back under my resistance trend line. Ethereum is back under 3,000, y'all. It is down 1% today. Ethereum is currently trading at $2,914. BMNR is down 2% at 28.32. Palantir is up, y'all. Palantir is up almost 2% at 168.75. I think it's still a good buy, y'all. Dang. If my cash wasn't tied up, I would have bought it. Because it was down 22% on Wednesday. It's currently down 18%. That's still a good buy. Robinhood is up almost 1.5% today at 107.70. Grab is up 1% at 460. XLG is up over 0.25%. It's in the gap, y'all. It's in the gap. All right, so that's it, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to $1 Trillion Tickers. This is the show that I do every single day. Market open, market closed. It don't matter. If the market is open, we doing pre-market, and we doing the market open, and we checking prices, candlestick patterns, everything. We doing breaking news. If the market is closed, we'll just be charting. So I do have some good videos on YouTube that you can watch if you would like to learn the basics of investing, y'all. If you would like to learn the basics of investing, I created a YouTube channel. Let me pull it up for y'all right quick. This is it here, y'all. Oh, this is dope. Let me play this right quick for y'all. This is my show that I created called Proof of Investing. So I compare $100 a month for 10 years into Starbucks or into XLK. Check it out, y'all. Let me run it right quick.
We will show the difference between investing Welcome to Proof of Investing Episode 1. We will show the difference between investing $100 a month for 10 years in the technology ETF XLK versus spending the same amount on Starbucks.
This is our website, Portfolio Metrics, where we do back testing to give real data. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to enter the symbol XLK. We're going to put the allocation at 100%. We're going to put the start date. That's going to be January 10th, 2016. And the end date is January 10th, 2026. So our benchmark we'll be comparing that to is the SPY, which is the S&P 500. There will be no rebalancing of the portfolio. The first amount we're going to put is $100. And then we're going to put a fixed contribution. And that's going to be $100. And that's going to be every single month. And we will adjust for inflation. So I just took the average inflation of the 10-year period, and it is 3.12. And we will reinvest the dividend. So that is how we will get our calculation. We'll hit submit, and there you see it, folks. $44,774 for investing in XLK. Ooh.
And $31,114.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right here. The whole episode is only 3 minutes, so if you get a chance, go to my YouTube channel, Matt Riches 510 AI Music, and you can get some more details on that. So if you had invested that same $100 a month that you spent on Starbucks over the past 10 years, if you had invested it in XLK, then you would be up. You'd be up over 30,000, and the value of that $100 a month will be 44,000. So if you want more details on that, definitely check out my channel and watch the rest of the show. I do have other videos that are great, like beginner. Look at this, y'all.
The stock market. It is a digital marketplace.
So this is a beginner video with simple explanations. I'm going to just play a little bit of it.
What exactly is the stock market? It is a digital marketplace connecting the world. It is the central place where businesses find investors and people buy and sell ownership. Think of it like a giant global farmers market. Instead of fruits and vegetables, companies like Apple or Amazon sell pieces of their business. Key takeaways. It's where buyers and sellers meet. Prices change based on supply and demand, and most trading happens instantly on your phone or computer. What?
So I break it down real easy like that, y'all, with these slides, with the good audio on there. So check it out, y'all. That's it. That's it for today's show, though. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. Shout out to everybody that's going to listen on iHeartRadio and Spotify. I will see y'all tomorrow for our charting. Because the market is closed, we'll be charting on Saturday. So check out some of my videos on YouTube, y'all. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.